State Studio, the sports media palace of Mid-America, the Wolf of Center Street. Here's your host, John Nabors.
And welcome into the John Nabors Show here live from Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate everybody listening in and watching in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I am your host, John Nabors, and appreciate all of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as we have a fun-filled show in store for you today. It is a Friday, and we know that Fridays are always pretty chill, pretty easy, pretty laid back, pretty fun, but overall a good time because we know the weekend's about to get started, get underway, and it's, in a weird way, it's actually kind of nice and quiet. You know, we don't have a spring game going on or anything like that for football. Baseball's on the road this weekend in South Carolina, which I know we'll talk a little bit about that, and I'm not complaining, so don't take it as that, and maybe it is a little bit of a complaint. But overall, I'm kind of excited about the weekend in general because it's pretty chill, pretty relaxed, pretty hanging out of things that have been going on. And we'll talk about some of the stuff that is going on, and you notice that from the headline of that. But, of course, we want to get to some of your chats, folks. So if you want to get in on the chat, we'll try to make that happen, make that possible for you. But we're also going to have the phone lines open today. So call in, 936-246-2889. 936-246-2889 to get your voice heard here on the John Nabors Show. And we'll have some of the, hey, did y'all see this? And also, again, some other things, too, I want to update y'all on heading into the weekend. But haven't had a chance to really bring it up. I know the guys at Pot at the Palace did a great job with it last night, Curtis and Scotty, of referring to Kenny Payne, the newest addition to the Razorback Basketball Calipari dream team. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping he puts together a dream team, but he's at least getting the gang back together. As the official statement from the University of Arkansas said, Kenny Payne, who brings nearly 20 years of coaching experience on the collegiate and professional levels, was named associate head coach at the University of Arkansas. Razorback head coach John Calipari announced today. A former Louisville Cardinal, basketball great, and first-round NBA selection, Payne spent the last two seasons, 2024, as the head coach of his alma mater. And that's all that talked about because it was pretty awful. He says, additionally, he served as an assistant coach with the NBA's New York Knicks, as well as spending 15 years as a college assistant, and blah, 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 blah. Nobody really cares about all the word salad that's being put around. But either way, he is coming to Arkansas, played at Louisville in the early 2000s, and has been an assistant coach at Oregon, Kentucky from 2010 to 2014, became the associate head coach from 2014 to 2020, was at the New York Knicks as an assistant, then Louisville from 22 to 24, now back at Arkansas in 24. So overall, I'll give my thoughts. I believe it was being reported that he is making $900,000 a year as an assistant coach. So if that's the case, that's significant. That's very significant because that's a lot of money. And there's never been an assistant coach that has made that much money here, at least at the University of Arkansas in the basketball program. That is a ton. I believe it's a 3-year contract that they're going to be putting up, and I'm sure there's incentives and some bonuses and all of that to go into it too. But definitely getting a lot of money and continuing to add to the funding with everything that's been happening with, like for instance, Razorback basketball in the offseason, transfer portal. And that stuff too. So wanted to just schedule. Oh, by the way, sorry, real quick. And I know this is completely off kilter, but I wanted to remind everybody of a notification I just got that Razorback baseball against South Carolina has been officially postponed. They're going to play a doubleheader tomorrow due to the rain in the area on Sunday. So Saturday's doubleheader will consist of 2 9-inning games. Okay, so hold on. Oh, okay. So on Sunday, the game is postponed, and they're still going to play tonight, and tomorrow will be a doubleheader. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Sorry. Either way, wanted to make that note. But still, going back to the idea of Kenny Payne, he's a guy that's, with the amount of money that's getting thrown to him and the experience that he has and what he has meant to Calipari as the head coach at Kentucky and his recruiting efforts cannot be overstated. Like, there is a lot of reason to believe that this is a huge get for Calipari and to bring him back. I remember when Calipari was ejected in that game in Bud Walton Arena in 2020. It must his first year there, and one of the loudest, if not the loudest single moment that was going on in Bud Walton Arena. Kenny Payne was the guy who served as the assistant coach and did the press conference afterwards. So that was really the only time that I remember having any interaction with him. Very, very upstanding guy. There's a reason why he got the Louisville job, and it didn't work out. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It did not work out. It went pretty miserably. But I believe that he is perfect in the role as an assistant coach under Cal and in a recruiting role. And the fact that he's getting paid that type of money really, really shows that Cal needed him, had to have him, wanted him, and continues to show the investment that Razorback Basketball takes, or at least the University of Arkansas takes into Razorback Basketball. Kenny Payne is also a really interesting guy in knowing how well he was received when he first got to Kentucky and learning under Cal. I feel like there are coaches out there that are just made to be assistant coaches. And that's okay. Kenny Payne is somebody who I think is just there to be an assistant coach. He tried the head coach game, tried it at Louisville. It went really, really horribly. And that's okay from the perspective, at least for Arkansas. It didn't go okay for Louisville fans. But for me, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll take him as an assistant because he did do a really good job as the assistant coach. Every coach, for the most part, wants to be a head coach. They want to run stuff. They want the way they want to run it. They want to be the coach that they want to be and have the high level success that everyone's talking about and hire and make the big money. Everybody wants that, but some coaches are just not fit for it. Some try it, but some are just fine with it. I think back to someone like a John Chavis. People may have a nasty taste in their mouth about what he was and what he did at Arkansas under Chad Morris, but he was a guy that was really, really elite and had offers to be defensive coordinators at some big-time jobs, but he was never really a head coach at the high level, and that was fine. And his name just escaped me, but the Iowa defensive coordinator this past year who won the Broyles Award. I had a chance when I was with 103.7 The Buzz to sit down with him and discuss with him. He was an older guy, been coaching there for decades. Hadn't been a head coach at that high level. Some coaches are just fine with it. Some coaches are fine in that spot. But I don't ever blame any coach for taking a chance, taking a risk, see what happens. And Kenny Payne did that at Louisville, and it didn't work out. But I don't think you can correlate that failure at Louisville and saying you don't want him as the assistant coach at Arkansas. You can't correlate that. So for the most part, I've seen Razorback fans be pretty happy and excited that Kenny Payne is going to be on staff, that he is going to be out there recruiting with Coach Cal, because he has done a phenomenal job with recruiting, as well as Coach Cal, because Coach Cal is a great recruiter. But it was mainly coming from either Louisville fans or just Kentucky fans that continue to troll, because there's plenty of those that continue to happen. Kentucky fans are still really salty about it. They still keep talking about it, still keep bringing it up, and that's fine. I wrote an article on NattyStateSports.com today, because it's Pulitzer type stuff, Big J journalism, kind of ripping Kentucky and making fun of them a little bit. But he is going to be a great addition to Arkansas, and I believe because of that fact, now that it is official, you're going to start seeing players get added to the roster. I get asked all the time on this show, on social media, the DMs, family members, friends, enemies. I think even the recently deceased have contacted me about when is this roster going to be put together? When is it going to pop? When are they going to have players? When is it going to happen? It needs to happen right here, right now, and it has to happen. What's going on? Thought we had NIL. Thought we had Calipari. But I've seen other teams get these people. What's going on here? I hesitate to keep telling everybody to relax, but I'm going to keep telling everybody to relax. 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 It will happen. Let me tell you something. There are a few potential players out there for Arkansas that are waiting on particular things. Some of them may be waiting on other schools to come calling, other schools to check out and see if they got any better offers. But there are some players that are waiting for certain staff members to get hired until they make their decision. And there are some that I know for a fact, and you can probably guess who it could be. There are some that are waiting for their final NIL payment check from particular schools before they can officially commit to Arkansas. That's not a rule or anything like that, but I'm just telling you that there are some players that are going to commit to Arkansas, and they're just having to wait until their NIL contract is fulfilled. And once that happens, they're going to commit. So you got to relax, folks. It'll be okay. I know Big Z's the guy. I mean, who else do you need, really? Do you need anybody else other than Big Z? Just have him be out there, and he'll start doing his thing. But I think that Carter Knox is probably going to be the guy that commits. I have no confirmed knowledge on that. Is saying, oh, yeah, for sure he's going to be committing to Arkansas. But from all I've heard and from the people who are in the know, believe that he is going to be one of the commits that happens here very shortly. 6'6", small forward. He's the number 21 player in the country, according to On3. And he had not only was committed to Kentucky, but was also heavily recruited by Louisville. Who was the coaches at those two places last year? Oh, yeah, Calipari and Kenny Payne. Like, Arkansas basically just went into the state of Kentucky and stole their two biggest coaches as far as programs go. And now they're on the same staff. So I think Carter Knox is going to be the guy that ends up being a Razorback and committing here soon. Quaintance, I still believe, is going to be a Razorback. I know that he took an official visit to Louisville, and he may be waiting on some things there, but I believe he'll end up being a Razorback. The Boogie Fland kid, the 6'2" point guard, he's out of New York, but he's also the number 19 player in the country. He's been recruited like crazy, but he was also committed to Kentucky, reopened his recruitment, and he's going to have some options, but Arkansas is definitely in the mix for him. So those are just a few of the high school players that I still believe are going to either be Razorbacks or highly, highly consider Razorbacks until when it's all said. I know Adal Thero. I always hesitate to say his name. I probably need to learn how to. But I know that he is an interesting name to watch, too. You can find us all at nattystatesports.com for the transfer portal big board that Curtis and Scotty have put together. But they've also contacted a few people like Brandon Garrison from Oklahoma State. Big man, 6'11", 245. Huge dude. He's a former McDonald's All-American. He's in the portal. You think about Jeremy Roach. That one's still in the mix, but then I saw yesterday, I guess it was being reported by, I think it was Rothstein or maybe Goodman. I feel like I can look, but it looked like he was one of the players that is the transfer from Duke. Arkansas and Kentucky were in the mix early, then St. John's popped in, but now it looks like Baylor was going to be the leader for it. Should be kind of weird, but that's the name of the game in college sports. Just never know. Jonas Adu, that guy from Tennessee, I would love to have him. Arkansas has been on top of him. Calipari has been on top of him big time. And he's 6'11", 241. Averaged 11.5 points per game, nearly 7.5 rebounds a game, and 2 blocks a game this past year. And he's only got 1 year remaining, but that is a big, big dude. He had 8 double-doubles last season, and he was first-team All-SEC and All-SEC defensive team for Tennessee, who was also a really good team last year. So the point is that you have a lot of players that are still in the mix that have been – it would be one thing, folks, and this is where you can also look at it in this way. It would be one thing if you had these players that you were in on or contacting, all of them were committing elsewhere. Like, if that was the case, if all these players I just talked about and just mentioned started committing to other places, especially lesser places, and you felt like you were good on them, I could understand a little panic or at least a little concern. But these guys haven't committed anywhere. Sure, they're taking visits. They're checking places out. I don't blame them. I would too. Especially if I was one of these high school kids that had to reopen their recruitment when going to Kentucky. Most of them, if not all of them, went because of Cal, and I'm sure that they're like, okay, well, let's find out this Arkansas situation first. Let's see how this is playing out first. But they're still remaining uncommitted to any school right now. And until you start seeing all those other guys commit elsewhere, then you can start having some questions. But there's no reason to get your panties in a wad because you have kids that haven't committed anywhere. Because here's the thing that I always laugh about. I look towards the future to only look back. And what I mean by that is everyone that's stressing right now or freaking out or being concerned or annoyed or frustrated, whatever it is, all of you that are doing that, you think you're going to still can remember that part or remember this time where you were so stressed? If Arkansas ends up getting all these players and 6 months from now, you're going to look back and be like, man, I was stressed and I'm still stressed about it. No. They're going to be like, well, they got the players. Who cared about the timing? Timing doesn't matter other than us just being in that type of society these days of just kids just wanting everything instantly. They don't want to wait. They don't want to have patience. It's a microwave world. They want it right then, right there. And I understand. But it is a process, and until I have a reason not to trust or not to believe or not to feel good about John Calipari and now Kenny Payne and their recruiting efforts, which have been time and time and time and time again proven to be the best in the business, I'm not having a concern. They got Big Z, folks. Big Z was a huge get. It's going to happen. I'd love for it to happen pretty quickly. I'd love it for it to come to fruition and be exactly like we all hope and that we all prayed and that we all want. I would love that. But I'm also not freaking out. I love the Kenny Payne hire. It's getting the gang back together. There's obviously a trust there. There's a friendship, and that's kind of hard to come by. When you think about certain coaches and when they get to new places, because this is an unprecedented time. This is an unprecedented thing when you're considering Arkansas and Calipari and him coming to Fayetteville and the way he's done it. It's pretty unprecedented, but you have at least familiarity with the coaching staff and who he's bringing in and the amount of money that he's making. Showing commitment, showing the major commitment that the athletic department has to this basketball program. Whatever Cal wants, Cal gets. Because imagine if you're Hunter Yurachek or if you're anybody involved at the U of A, and Calipari comes to you, he's like, hey, I need this amount of money, within reason, but like, hey, I need close to $1 million for one of my assistant coaches. You think that you think Hunter Yurachek's gonna be like, hold on there, buddy. You've already been making enough money as it is. What do you need another $1 million? We can't swing that. You kidding me? I don't know why I just made Hunter Yurachek sound like an old-timey 1920s radio host. But anyways, no, he's not going to say that. He's going to be like, okay, coach, sure. And then Yurachek's going to come in and be like, all right, where do we get this money? Let's see. Oh, Tyson, right? Chicken Man. Mr. Tyson, your boy needs this. All right. I'll let him have it. Let me know if he needs anything else. We'll make sure he gets taken care of. I mean, that's kind of the approach that they're going to have, but you kind of have to have in this regard. You have to be able to open up the floodgates of money because you know what the return is going to be. Open that up. Play the long game. Look at it in the long term. Yes, it's a lot of money. I can't imagine the type of increase, the significant increase that has happened since Calipari has taken over from what it was under Eric Musselman. Because it was high under Eric Musselman. Muss was one of the higher paid coaches in the SEC. I think he was making $5 million. He's one of the upper echelon coaches in the SEC, and he got paid. His assistants were taken care of. And the NIL was good. But it almost feels like everything's been doubled. You know, everyone's talking about Jerry Jones walking in, which I want to bring that up again here a bit. They're talking about Jerry Jones saying, I'm going to double all the NILs. I mean, the U of A has doubled everything. They basically, except for Calipari's salary from Kentucky, but I'm talking about doubling nearly Muss's salary for Calipari. The assistant coach is Kenny Payne, making $900,000, close to $1 million as an assistant. Kind of been doubled. The NIL budget overall been doubled. So that's a commitment. And I love seeing that. Scared money don't make money. Because I think Arkansas and Hunter Yurachek and everybody involved, it's a lot of money for sure. Maybe it's money that they don't really have to spend, or maybe they wanted to spend elsewhere. But if you want to be committed, if you want to go all in, you cannot have John Calipari for that big time money that you're paying him with a bunch of crap surrounding him. You got to be able to put him in a position to succeed. And that means funding everything that brings in, because you know it's going to be rewarded to you tenfold. You can't be going out there and getting the number one race car driver in the world and putting him in a Pinto. Shout out to Pinto 479. Like, you can't do that. There's no point in that. You're going to lose every single time. If you have John Calipari, if you have one of, if not the greatest race car driver in the world, you need to go out there and make sure that he's got the fastest vehicle out there known to man to drive. You got to make sure that he's having that premium gas, grade 93, out there. And it's full, and it's got a full tank. And it's fully been maintained. And the tires are brand new. Like, you got to make sure that everything surrounding Calipari is just as successful, or at least set up for just as much success as Calipari himself can bring. Because then there'll be no excuses. You can't go all in and get that. You know, what's the point of having the best steak you've ever had if you're sitting, if you don't have a plate to put it on, you're eating it with your hands? It's just not the case. So I'm appreciative and respected to the commitment of what Yurchek in Arkansas is doing. It wasn't just to Cal, it's to everything. And it's going to pay out. It's going to work out. The amount of revenue that's going to come in for being part of the SEC is huge. The amount of donations that they're going to get, the amount of pledges that they're going to have to the Arkansas Edge itself and the NIL collective, the things that they're going to have over the entire course of this basketball program is tremendous, and it's going to just continue to grow. I can't wait to see it. Folks, if you want to get in on the conversation, we'll get to some of your chats here in a little bit too, but you call in. Phone lines are open at 936-246-2889. That's 936-246-2889 to get your thoughts heard. But before we get to some of your chats, some of them I can read, some of them I can't read. Just kind of depending on who it is. But before we do that, though, I want to tell you all, folks, about Signature Bank here in the state of Arkansas. We know that banking is so crucial to us all, but it's also something that we don't think about daily, at least most of us. Most of us just want to have our money in a bank to where it's like, hey, it's there when I need it. All right, thanks. And then you just move on your day. Does my direct deposit work? Okay, cool. Thank you. You always think about that until it's a problem. And that's what Signature Bank will always make sure never happens. There's never a problem, that your money is always safe, it's always secure, it's always accessible, and they're going to do everything that they can to make sure that for the rest of your life, when you stick and you decide that Signature Bank is the bank for you, you're never going to leave. Because they want to relax you, which they relax a lot of Razorback fans for other reasons. But they're going to relax you because you know it's always going to be safe. They're community invested, and they're here in the state of Arkansas to make sure that they help out the community here in Arkansas. That's why they're here locally, right here in Fayetteville. And they have a great crew over there that's going to do everything that they can and in their power to make sure you are great to go for your finances. And that can be for your personal, it could be for your business. It's for everything. So be sure, if you're going to do banking with people that we trust here at Natty State Sports, and that's Signature Bank. That's why we do banking with them. You can go online and check out their website at signature.bank. That's www.signature.bank. You can check out all the great amenities and all the great things that they can do for you. And you can also visit some of their locations here in the state of Arkansas that are very conveniently located all across the state. But no matter what it is, when it comes to your finances, do it with Signature Bank, the official bank of Natty State Sports here in Arkansas. All right. So, again, get in on the conversation, folks, if you want to. And we'll have some of your chats and everything happening there, too. So, let's see. I have to go back a little bit. Again, I'm going to start highlighting these comments, folks, so we can make sure that we get to as many ones as possible. So, Counts. How about this one? Counts is like, would you rather have Tyrese Hunter or Jeremy Roach? Personally, I'd rather have Jeremy Roach. I'll take any of them. Take all of them. I want all the great players. But those are the ones that I would definitely be all about. I would definitely be about all. Jeremy Roach. He's great. Let's see. Everyone's hyping me up. I appreciate that. Let's Johnny Young says, John, do you have enough stuff on your desk? No. In fact, I've got another important piece. It's the Joe Namath Jets helmet. He actually wore that, you know. Actually, he didn't. But it is from that era. This was my dad's when I was growing up. When I was a kid, I just wanted to play football, and this was the only helmet I had. Still in decent shape. I think this is back from the late 60s, early 70s. Again, knowing how that's probably how the way I actually wore helmets. But yes, I have plenty, and I always want more. Jose says, updated intro. It's sick. Did I do an updated intro? I think it's the same intro. Don't freak me out like that. Pretty sure it's the same intro. Johnny says, I'm going to send you my book on JFK that just got released today. All right. Have at it. Where was that? Going out. Excited about KP. Yeah, I was excited about there too. Everyone's excited about Kenny Payne and the hiring of Kenny Payne. I am too. I felt like it was a no-brainer. The guy got fired from Louisville. There's connection there. It was a no-brainer. We'll see what the rest of the staff looks like. Again, from what we understand, Ronnie Brewer, people keep asking, Ronnie Brewer is staying on staff. In fact, I saw Ronnie last night, so it was good to see him. But, yeah, Ronnie Brewer will still be on staff. I don't know in what capacity officially, but he's going to be involved, so that's okay. Count says Isaac McBride is in the portal. Dude, I forgot about that kid. Sometimes it's like these kids that get into the portal, you're like, oh, yeah, that guy. Forgot all about that guy. So, yeah. Thomas says, I think Brewer and Joe Johnson will be on the staff. I hope so. Again, I'm letting Cal do whatever he wants to do and how he wants to do it. I really hope he is. Both of them are. Because Ronnie's great. Local kid from here from Fayetteville. Loves the Razorbacks. Been on the staff. Good for continuity. You know, I say good for continuity as if there's anybody returning from last year's team, which there's not. But I'm all about Ronnie staying on for sure. Scott Garak said, read that FedEx just made an NIL pledge to Memphis for $25 million over 5 years. Here's the thing about this, and I'm not calling you out, Scott. I'm talking about just in general. I see stuff like this, and I'm like, okay, but where? You know, like nobody seems to just. I want to see the actual FedEx Twitter account put out there that he's like, I want this amount of money to be known for this amount of years. And yeah, no one's going to do that, though. No one's going to do that. I think it's more of just, oh, we never said that. Well, so who said it? They said it. We didn't say it. So are you doing it or not? You'll never know. You'll never know. Arkansas got an update in football, actually. I'm just seeing this now, folks. Pete Thamel is the one that reports it. He says former Florida State running back Rodney Hill has committed to Arkansas, according to his agent Joe Hernandez of Just Win Management Group. Jeez, that's like agent and whatever. Hill played 2 years at Florida State. He redshirted as a true freshman in 2022. In his Florida State career, he accounted for 417 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. So Arkansas got themselves another running back. Works out because y'all remember they lost Isaiah Augustov. So now they're needing somebody else to come in and take his spot. And it looks like Rodney Hill is a perfect match for that. It's not like he's going to set the world on fire with all of his numbers, but I did want to look up and see what he was doing out of high school. So he was a 3-star player as a transfer. Okay, that makes sense. He's a 3-star player as a transfer, the number 49 running back, but coming out of high school, he also was a 3-star player. But he's 5'10", 180 pounds. Had offers to Florida State, Virginia. So anyways, great. Add to the depth. The running back situation's great at Arkansas. Like, that's something I feel really confident about. Jaquindon Jackson's that dude. I am so excited about him. That guy gives me the goosebumps every time he runs because I'm like, he's intimidating. He's aggressive. He's a beast. I can't wait to see him play. And Rashad Dubinion is almost like the unsung hero, the forgotten dude. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's not like he's being forgotten for any negative reason. It's just he's good. He's solid. He's ready. So you don't need to have anything or any stories about him. He's just a dude that's really good. So adding to the running back depth is always good, and especially if you can add somebody with some experience at a major program like Florida State. That's always good. So kudos to Sam Pittman and what they've been able to do. Yeah, everyone's asking about the Rodney Hill commitment. Yeah, that just happened. That just happened. Count says, can't imagine a kid saying no to the staff of John Calipari, Kenny Payne, Ronnie Brewer, and possibly Joe Johnson. Yeah, that's a great point. Could you imagine that if you were a kid and you're a basketball player, you're sitting there and you get a phone call and it's like, hey, it's Coach Cal, man. We want to meet up for a visit. I want you to come to Arkansas. Oh, yeah, sure, Coach. Sure. Yeah, you can come over to lunch, whatever. Great. We'll be there tomorrow. And in walks in John Calipari, Kenny Payne, Ronnie Brewer, and Joe Johnson. Oh, so you guys are serious about this. You guys really want me here, don't you? Yep. Apparently they do. Ryan says, is Battle coming back? Have we heard? Battle has not said anything. Battle has not committed anywhere. I don't know if he's coming back. My understanding is, because I'm a big J journalist now that I posted an article today on NattyStateSports.com. My understanding is that there is interest in bringing Battle back next season. Calipari is interested in doing that, but it's about Battle weighing his options. Do not take this in a negative way. Do not take this in a negative way, please. But I think a lot of it weighs on NIL for KOF Battle. Now, he tweeted out, it seems like weeks ago. It may have been just last week. It could have been yesterday. But I think people were coming out and saying, hey, what's happening with Battle? Didn't know because he was in the transfer portal whenever Muss left. But then he tweets out, I need more NIL, man. Okay, well, we all do. We all want to have more NIL. So, okay. So how much NIL is this? More NIL. Is Arkansas willing to pay that? Is it comparable? Is it competitive with the other schools that are coming after him? Are any schools coming after him? I don't know. So that's where the Battle situation's unique. He's the only player that's, from my understanding, is welcome back here next year, or that they're actually at least recruiting. Welcome back. That sounds really harsh. I didn't mean it that way. He's the only player that they are pursuing. Brazil's gone. Brazil's going to the NBA. Unless some crazy thing happens, he's not coming to play college anywhere. So he's gone. Tremont Mark's already at Texas. So Arkansas gets to play him, which, by the way, I hope fans, they're going to boo, but I hope fans are pretty cool towards Tremont Mark. I didn't have a problem with Tremont Mark, but I understand why he left. It happens. So point is that Battle's really the only one that they're coming after, but, do you take Battle over who? If it's between him and Roach, who are you taking? Battle's a really good player. Really good player. But Cal has the ability and the possibility of bringing in even better players than Battle. Let's see. There's another one here, too. From BRR Rounder. He says, I hear many saying that it would be great to keep Brewer on staff. I'm all for it, but is it because we love him? What does he bring to the staff? That's a fair question. That is a fair question. Here's my take on Ronnie Brewer, and you can call it biased or whatever. But the reason I would be excited about Ronnie is that he has been on staff at Arkansas for a while now. It wasn't like he was just there as a face. He helped the team. He was the good cop to Muss's bad cop. He was trusted. The players liked him. They respected him. And he has a passion for it. And I think that there's always just something to be said if you can have someone like him involved. I have complete and total faith that Calipari and Kenny Payne and everybody involved at Arkansas is going to have success, with or without Ronnie Brewer. If Ronnie Brewer is on staff, they will. If he's not on staff, they will still. That's not the thing. But from the perspective of having an Arkansas guy on staff, a local kid on staff, someone who's trusted, someone who's respected, someone that everybody, not only inside the state of Arkansas's fans love, but also is beloved and respected inside the University of Arkansas in the athletic department, there's things that he can do. For instance, I'm not saying he would or that they'll have him do this, but for instance, I could totally see it to where they got something going on, some event that's happening, and they're hitting up the coaching staff, like here in Arkansas. It could be here in Fayetteville or in Little Rock or whatever. But they're hitting up the coaching staff. Hey, we got this big thing, this donor event, booster event. Yeah, we're going to need a coach. And it's like, oh, geez, well, this is recruiting. It's really tough. I can't make it, man. I got all this. I'm not going to send Kenny Payne. I mean, that'd be fine, all that, but Kenny Payne's not exactly the most household name that gets people excited on these events. Could send this, somebody else. Why not send Ronnie Brewer? Because literally everyone in Arkansas knows Ronnie Brewer. Everyone loves Ronnie Brewer. And if he goes and does these events on the side, helps promote the program here locally, it's a win-win for all of us. So that's what I look at it as, not just his coaching ability and his experience, because he is obviously proven to be helpful to a staff, but there's just that connection that he can make with people in the state of Arkansas and with people that are donating and all that others can't. That's my thought on it. Let's see. Also, some of these times I'm like, I want to click on things, but then I'm like, wait a minute. Until I know it's actually true, I ain't going to do that stuff. What are the chances we recruit Miles Slusher back? Aiden, did he enter into the portal? There's so much stuff with the portal, it's hard to keep up with. There's so much going on. So if that's the case, then by all means, let me know if he did get back into the portal. And if so, I don't know. Probably not, because I think it was just, a lot of burned bridges there. I don't think he does. But if Miles Slusher's coming back, that'd be pretty funny. I mean, why not? Everybody else is coming back, and everything else is surprising to me now. I mean, we thought Bobby Petrino. I went on a show in Mobile, Alabama today, and they were asking me about Calipari and Arkansas, and they asked me about the Petrino angle and the football angle. And I was sitting there, I was like, man, I mean, people care about it a little bit, but everyone's about basketball. Everyone's about Calipari. It's all people want to know about and hear more about, because it's still an unfinalized roster. Arkansas football is putting together a roster, and they pretty much got their coaching staff in check. But right now, it's just all basketball, and that's the thing people care about. But I'm liking the fact that you're still having some football news there, too. Somebody asking, is Jeremy Roach committed to Missouri? Again, if that's happened, then it happened when I was getting ready for the show today. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with things. I don't think he did. They got somebody else out of the portal. I'll make sure. Yeah, he hasn't committed anywhere. But somebody was asking, give Mizzou credit putting together a decent roster. Yeah, there's no doubt. Mike, Missouri has done a great job of talent getting into not only high school recruiting. I believe they got Boateng, the number one player out of Arkansas, and some others out of the portal that looks really good. I don't know. I'm just suspect. I'm suspect. Shocking, I know, especially against Missouri. But if you're worth your salt in recruiting, let me rephrase it. If I'm a player coming out of high school, or if I'm a transfer, and there's a program in the SEC that went 0-18 this past season, 0-18, kept their head coach, why am I going to that school? Like, it has to be NIL. It has to be NIL. That was the only thing that I could think of is NIL. And then if that's the case, if it's just and strictly NIL, that ain't going to make for a good team. Like Dennis Gates, I have no problem with him, but he made it to the tournament. He had a good first year because he basically brought his entire veteran roster from Cleveland State that was really good, and they helped out. And how did he do after that? He had a despicable team last season. He got Connor Vanover, and it just didn't work out. But I just don't understand if I'm a player that's wanting to go to the league or win a championship. I ain't going to Missouri when they had a coach go 0-18. And that's a unique situation, too, because I have always felt in basketball especially, if you go 0 in the conference, you need to be fired. I don't care if it's your first year or what. I don't care if you got the number one recruiting class coming in the next year. You need to be fired. There's zero excuse to go 0-18 in conference play in the SEC, in a down SEC, that is. Zero excuse. So I'm just curious. Again, it has to be NIL, or maybe they're just these players are being overvalued or something. But to go to Missouri, to go to play for a coach who went 0-18 this past year, imagine feeling good about that. Oh, man, I can't wait. I got this big sign day. I signed it. It's going to be awesome. Oh, really? Yeah, man, I'm pumped. Where are you going? Missouri. Didn't they go 0-18 in conference play last year? Uh-huh. You're excited about that? Yeah. Okay. Hope they're paying you good. That's funny to me. That's funny. But I know between that and Ole Miss is going to be a good team next year. Like, I think I talked about yesterday. There's certain coaches that you always know are going to have good, solid teams. Like Tennessee and Rick Barnes. They're always going to have good teams. Some teams better than others, but good teams. Nate Oates, when he's not, having players be involved in certain activities that are inappropriate, he's going to have talent. He's going to have good teams. Auburn's at least going to be good in the regular season. Maybe not always the NCAA tournament, but they're going to get to the tournament at least. I think Ole Miss is going to be good, really good. I think Arkansas, of course, is going to be really, really good. Florida is kind of, I think they'll be good enough to get to a tournament. Jan's kind of the same way at Mississippi State, maybe good enough to get to the tournament, but bubble teams. South Carolina is the one I'm like, all right, well, I need to see a little bit more than that. I need to see more in one season. Was that the exception or was that the rule? I need to see a little bit more than that. But everything else looks pretty good. Or at least bad, or everything else looks bad. Kentucky, I still don't know, dude. Like, Kentucky will get the benefit, like at SEC Media Days, whenever they get the predicted order of finish out. They'll get that benefit of being picked no worse than 5th or 6th. No worse. But I think even if they assembled a roster that wasn't that great, people are still going to rank them there, even though there's a good possibility they could finish. There is zero reason to believe that they won't be a team that could end up finishing in the bottom of the SEC. You say I'm crazy, you say I'm biased, you say I'm just talking trash. It's 100% true. There's a great chance that they could finish in the bottom of the SEC next year. But again, they're going to have the benefit of the doubt. They're going to have the benefit of the doubt. 936-246-2889 is the number to call into here on the show. But, folks, I got to tell you about our friends over at the Autograph app, because you're going to be consuming a lot of this media, right? You're going to be doing all this media stuff, right? Right. You're going to be reading our stuff at NattyStateSports.com. You're going to be listening to our podcast, the Bombastic Podcast, the Pod at the Palace, all that good stuff, right? Right. Well, do it with the Autograph app. It's a great app that you can download on your iPhone or on your Android device. And if you use code Natty, N-A-T-T-Y, you'll be able to level up into great rewards that can be paid off in dividends. And all it takes is just for you to read it and you to consume the media. It's a free app. Using that code Natty, N-A-T-T-Y, and the more you read, the more media you consume, the better reward you will get. They're doing all types of great stuff. Like, for instance, they got Arkansas and Florida, that game, that series. That's going to be coming up next weekend. And if you get to a certain level, if you consume enough, you'll have a chance to get great pricing on tickets to that, which is almost dadgum near impossible at this point. Tickets are going like hotcakes for that one, especially if Arkansas takes care of business against South Carolina over the weekend. But check them out. Download the app today. Use promo code Natty, N-A-T-T-Y. That's promo code Natty. Do that, and you'll be able to see what the Autograph app is all about. It's easy, it's accessible, and it's simple. So check it out again today. It's the Autograph app using promo code Natty, N-A-T-T-Y. We'll have more of your chats. I know there's other things that's happening, too, in the sports landscape. We've already talked about football, talked about basketball. We'll probably talk a little bit about baseball, too. But we're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we'll get to more of that. And if you want in the conversation, you know how to do it. At this point in time, you know how to do it. Do the phone call thing, too, which apparently some phone call situations have been messed up. I had people messaging me say they've been trying to call in, but something was wrong. It should be fixed. I don't know why you guys keep saying that. But either way, yeah, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more of the John Nabors Show, more of your phone calls, more of your messages. So stay with us here on the John Nabors Show live from Natty State Sports Studios.
We we not done yet either. So don't be satisfied because we not done.
Hey, John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added a two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. Okay, you missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best, guys. I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Let's stick my dick in the mashed potato. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
Welcome back into the John Nabors Show here live from Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate everybody listening in and watching in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. You know, Coach Z came on my show yesterday. I love Coach Z. I need to get him on a lot more often. But it was great catching up with him and talking about the excitement surrounding Arkansas basketball because that guy just loves Arkansas. He's able to recall things like crazy. Love me some Coach Z, so it was great. And if you missed that interview, go back and watch the interview on YouTube because that was really awesome. Also, I talked a little bit about it yesterday on the show. I posted about it on social media today, but I wanted to throw it out there once again that we here at Natty State Sports have officially partnered with Tin Roof on Dixon Street. Actually, on Dixon and West. It is an awesome live music venue. That gives all the great vibes you could possibly have when it comes to food, apps, beverages, live music. And if you haven't been there, folks, and you do love live music, there's no better place to be to kind of set it up for it. Not only is the location so convenient, but you also have, when you walk in, they have live music of variations. Sometimes it's country music, sometimes it's alternative, sometimes it's like 90s tributes, things like that. And it's always ever-changing and ever-evolving. So they have that on the first floor. Then you go upstairs, and they have a dance floor with a DJ. So if you're feeling that type of vibe, they got that. They got outdoor venue out there, too. You can be able to chalk it up and listen to some great music there. They got a balcony that's away from all of that you can go outside. And they have a covered balcony, for one, but they got heaters and stuff. So if you just want to go out there, you can do that. But they have it all. And so we are so excited to partner with them here in the coming months here at Natty State Sports. We're going to be streaming my show live May 2nd. That's on Thursday, May 2nd, starting at 4 p.m. May even go a little bit earlier. May go a little bit crazier with it. But we're pumped. We're excited. We can't wait to continue to have great partnerships here at Natty State Sports as we are ever growing. And we really are pumped about the possibilities that are in front of us, and especially the connections that we have with Tin Roof, because I love Tin Roof. I love going there before even we partnered because I'm a live music guy. So we'll keep you updated on all of that, but be sure to check it all out and come see us when we're at Tin Roof, because if there's anything going on, odds are we're going to be at Tin Roof having a good time with it. So But appreciate them and everything. Let's see. There's a chat that I saw that I wanted to address. And some funny. Okay, right here. Brent's like, where do I get one of them shirts? I assume you're talking about my Natty State Sports shirt. Well, Brent, you can literally go to our website at nattystatesports.com and you can check out the different variations of this shirt to purchase, and you can have it shipped directly to you. So that's how you do it. Simple as that. We're going to have other things too, like maybe some polo shirts are going to be coming out. I can look forward to those. Those will be fun. Some of these comments, man, y'all are crazy. Count says, are we supposed to expect guys like Jackson Robinson or Dennis J. Harris roster fillers, or is Cal going for 13 big-time players? Well, I think every coach would love to have big-time players, 13 of them, but there's only so many that can play. You're not going to have 13 players playing, and no big-time player is going to walk into a situation where they see 12 other guys that are really good that are probably or may play in front of them. That doesn't make any sense. You call them roster fillers. I think they serve a purpose. I think they serve a purpose. I think that they serve a purpose in practice. They serve a purpose in scouting. They serve a purpose as an important part of the team. Dennis J. Harris, for example, was added to the roster because of guys that ended up not being on the roster that originally they were planning on, or at least saving room for. Ron Holland was one of the biggest ones. He, all intents and purposes, it was basically done. He was coming to Arkansas. Coaches felt that way. Everybody felt that way. And then in the middle of the night, the G League just offered him too much money that he couldn't turn down. So that's what happened. And so when you're that late in the game and you haven't been really recruiting anybody else because you've been waiting on that, you got to sign somebody, and they signed him. I don't have any problems with Dennis J. Harris, or Jackson Robinson is the other one you brought up. I don't have any problems with those guys. But to act like you're going to go out there and get nothing but 13 5-stars is it's not going to happen. It's unrealistic, and it just ain't going to happen. Derek says, y'all shouldn't worry yourself with Cal's recruiting. He will get elite talent like last year, then win 0 tourney games. Okay. Is this still what you guys are going to be pumping up? My man, y'all just hired a coach that has not won an NCAA tournament game. What are you talking about? He has not won an NCAA tournament game. So why are you trying to crow? Why are you trying to flex about that? But yeah, sure, I'll take the elite recruiting. I'll be waiting patiently on it. Jeez. Jason says, I wonder what Kentucky fans will say if we win a championship in year one. Again, I hope Arkansas wins a championship for multiple reasons, but that one may be the funniest one. Could you imagine what they would be like? Just in shambles, just absolute disgrace if that happened. That would be the humorous part of it. The championship would be amazing. Great feeling, great vibes, great love, passion, energy. But the funny part about it would be that. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Call me crazy, but I don't think it's that crazy. But we got a long way to see until that happens. Also, everyone's just making fun of the Kentucky fans. And then, everyone's saying that Kentucky doesn't have any players either, which is true. They don't really have that either. Okay, so now going back to the NIL stuff, because some of you want to continue to talk about that, and that's fine. The Jerry Jones angle that was still going on, I got asked about that on that radio show I was down in Louisiana on, and it just made me laugh still, because I still don't believe it's true, but I kind of hope it's true. People that are so upset by that and think it's bad look for college sports, whatever, okay, you can say that, but it's not changing. It's not going anywhere. This is the state of college athletics. It's the way it is. And you have options. Really just two. You either adapt to try to succeed, or you don't, and you will fail. Those are the only two things. You can either try to succeed or you're going to fail, because there is not a single program, not a single major college program at least, that cannot have NIL or not embrace NIL and adapt NIL and be successful. It's just not the case. You're not going to get those high-end players. You're not going to get the talent that you need to win it all, to win championships. You're just not going to. You can maybe have a bunch of ragtag guys out there that puts together some stuff and, maybe makes a little bit of a run because they're 25 years old and been playing a little bit, and they're really smart players that are good head on their shoulders and they're sound defensively. Like, yeah, you could maybe make a little bit of a noise. You could beat a Kentucky in the NCAA tournament if you're Oakland. But you're not going to be at a place like Arkansas or Kentucky or any place in the Power Five, in any program, mind you. You're not going to be any of those places and succeed and win at a high level with no NIL. So anything you can ever do when it comes to you putting it out there that you're paying all this money or that you are paying this money, do not get pissed about it. Don't get sad about it. Don't get angry. It is the reality of college athletics. Adapt or die. And I don't know about you, Razorback fans. I'm choosing to adapt. You know how many things that we could do in our sports if we had our own way, that we would change and want to change? And if we had it our way, how different it would be? Because here's the thing. Most of the change that we all want in sports, especially in the college level, isn't new change. It's reverting back to old change. Some people just want to go back to the times where it was simpler. You didn't have to worry about NIL. You didn't have to worry about transfer portal. It was simple because you knew that a player would commit to you. You had him for at least 3 years. You could redshirt them, and they'd be happy about it. And they'd fight the competition there on the team, and they would get to the point to where they're earning their keep and earning their way up, and they succeed. And then you win by the grittiness of the coaching staff and the players' love for the game of football. But that's not it anymore. In a perfect world, would everyone love that? Sure. Sure. In a perfect world, there's businesses out there that would love to have employees that didn't have to make any money, and then they were happy about it. In a perfect world. But things change. And the NIL is just the latest. It's always involved money, folks. Because that's another thing, too. It's like, it's all money. It's all money. Yeah, it's always been money. Like, when did people get this idea that the NIL was the first time that money became a priority for student athletes? Have you seen the special of the Pony Express from 30 for 30 about SMU back in the 80s? If you haven't, watch it. It's been going on a long time. And anybody who is arrogant enough or stupid enough to believe, well, they were doing that, but my school that was successful, we weren't doing any of that. No, you were just better at not getting caught. Money has always been a factor into this. You have to be able to put together your own priorities of what matters the most to you as a fan and lean into that instead of being pissy about what you don't like about it. Because if you're just pissy about the things you don't like about it, how are you ever going to truly enjoy it? Of course, I wish that NIL was not the way it is right now. I wish there was a lot of changes to the NIL. I wish there was a lot of changes to the transfer portal. I wish that there were changes to targeting because nobody knows what it is. I wish that they could make the kickoff great again. I wish that they could have games that were played at times that people wanted to go to those games. I wish 11 a.m. kickoffs would go away, except when you're on the road. There's a lot of things we wish would be different, that we wish we could change. But we can't. and we won't. And that's what NIL is. You can hate it, or you can embrace it. Because I said it before, and I will say it again. If your team, and in this case Arkansas, if they win a national championship in football, say if they won it this year, not predicting it, but say something crazy happened, and they won a national championship in football this year. They went 15-0. They hoisted the trophy. Sam Pittman's getting carried off the field. People are crying in the stands. You're not going to give two rips about how much money those players made? In fact, most of you may be like, whatever they got paid wasn't enough for this feeling that I have. Why? Why do you feel that way? Why will you feel that way? Simple. Because that team that's out there on that field that is hoisting that national championship trophy, that is being talked about, that's being interviewed, the confetti's falling down. That team, that group of individuals out there, they're wearing that cardinal red with the name Arkansas across the chest, with that Razorback logo on the helmet. That's what matters to you and to me and to everyone. Success of the team and program that I care most about. And when you are successful, nothing else matters. It's only when you lose do you start bringing up money. Start bringing up the painting of fingernails. Start bringing up the lack of NIL, the joke of a coach, the jokes of the players. You know, all this stuff. You just start bringing up all this stuff that can or cannot or does not have anything to do with the lack of success, but you just get angry, you just get mad, and you just start pointing at anything and everything you possibly can. But when you're winning, nothing matters. So people complaining, and I say people, not Arkansas fans, but people who are bringing up and they're like, Calipari's making all this money. This is ridiculous. Okay. Guess what? When Arkansas wins a national championship in basketball, what are people going to be saying? Well, I bought and paid for. Yep, you dadgum right it was. Sorry that you didn't pay up. We did, and look what happened. We won. Shut up. Go away. You guys are too big of a loser not to ante up and be like us. I'm not pissed at UConn. They put together two great teams, won national championship. I'm not pissed at Georgia or Michigan or Bama and these football programs that have won national championships here recently. I'm not pissed at them. I want what they have. I want that success. And how do you get there? Coaching, for sure. Support, for sure. Systems, of course. Staying healthy, absolutely. A roster of highly talented players, 100%. But also NIL. High amounts of NIL. That is how you win championships. Just saying. All right, so other comments that we will get to. Again, I laugh every time I look down at the comments because there's always somebody either arguing or saying weird things. But I'm appreciative of everybody watching in either way. But let's get to your Razorback update. Oh, shoot. Arkansas update. Don't sue me, U of A. Arkansas update brought to you by Davis & Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owner's insurance agency, securing what matters the most. And for your Arkansas update, Kenny Payne was officially hired as the University of Arkansas assistant coach under John Calipari. Nothing surprising there. But also some good news on the football side of things. They added a running back, Rodney Hill, who was a transfer from Florida State. And he has 2 years left to play at Arkansas. He redshirted as a true freshman in 2022. And he has accounted for 417 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. He officially will be transferring to Arkansas. Also, Adal Thero, the guy that we talked about. Again, I hope that I say his name. Probably not. But either way, he's in the transfer portal. He's a Kentucky transfer. He has interest in 5 different schools. Arkansas is one of them. He had 7 points and 5 rebounds a game this season, started 19 games, but he lists Arkansas as one of the teams he is interested in. And also, Razorback Baseball had a little change of the schedule due to some weather concerns that they had happening because apparently the rain's going to be pretty bad on Sunday. So Arkansas and South Carolina are going to play a doubleheader tomorrow due to the rain in the area on Sunday. The doubleheader is going to consist of 2 9-inning games, so full games, and the first pitch is going to be at noon, and then there will be an hour break in between the two games. So you're going to have the game tonight. You're going to have a doubleheader tomorrow, and which I hate because I feel like every time there's a doubleheader, especially on the road for Arkansas, they always lose the series, but maybe we'll see. But still, want to give everybody an update to it. And the lineup's actually been released, too, for Arkansas, and it looks pretty similar. You got Stovall, Aloy, McLaughlin, Souza, Holt, Diggs, Wagner, White, Wilmsmeyer, and then, of course, Hagen-Smith, the GOAT. He's going to be getting after it tonight. And that is your Arkansas update, brought to you by Davis & Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owner's insurance agency, securing what matters the most. All right, some of these comments, too. There's still Kentucky fans in here, which I'm loving. Stephen N. Louisa says, Beard wanted the Kentucky job, but he turned down Arkansas's offer. He hurt himself. Kentucky didn't offer him. I disagree with that. Not saying he doesn't, not to say they didn't want the Kentucky job. I'm just saying that the Kentucky job wasn't open, and then when he signed a new deal with Ole Miss, he couldn't go back on that. I think that if the Kentucky job would have been opened up first, Beard would probably have taken it if he was offered. But at the same time, Mitch Barnhart at Kentucky as an AD, that dude is way too old school for me. Nothing against the old school vibes, but that guy is way too old school for me. That guy gives the impression that he's like, I'm still. He's probably the type that has like a record player in his house. But not because it's trendy and he just bought it, but because he's had it for a while and he still loves the way that the record sounds with the needle scratching. And he seems like one of those guys. Like he's still using a large TV, like a tube television, because he just doesn't want to throw it away and the picture still looks fine, honey. Like that's the vibe he gives. So I don't think he would have gone after Chris Beard. I still think no matter what happened, they were going to end up with Mark Pope. I just think no matter who they offered, no matter what or who they thought that they did, I think Barnhart was the only one involved, and he's like, I want Pope. So they got Pope, and they would have ended up with Pope no matter what. It should have been an easy hire for Kentucky to get somebody big. Because if they're as big time as what they say they are, they should have gotten somebody bigger. Everyone's still arguing about Kentucky and everything. Bias Brim, always good to see him. He says it's going to get worse with Kentucky fans here once we have 5 to 7 of guys that were going there. They will be here for a long time in their fields. Hashtag WPS. Yep, I think that's going to be the case. We got a lot of Kentucky fans in our streams and in our chats, which when I put out that article today on Natty State Sports, all these Kentucky fans are like, we're not even thinking about you. We're moving on. How ironic. You're writing an article about us not moving on from Cal. Yeah, you're writing about us. You're not moving on from us. It's like, dude, look at our chats. Look at our interactions. Look at that. I'm appreciative of all of it. And I still think, like, here's the cool thing about what we do at Natty State Sports. One of the many cool things. We have analytics that we can see digitally to 100% accuracy. We can see all of you and where you watch, like cities and how you watch, on what platform, the age range, like all this stuff. It's nothing too personal, but it's just generic numbers. But last week, our markets have always been led by Little Rock and Northwest Arkansas and Dallas. Like those are far and away our biggest markets on Natty State Sports. But you want to know, the 4th and 5th places sometimes can change up. Last week, Louisville was the number 4 market of our content here at Natty State Sports. And when I hear that, I'm like, I love that. I don't know if that's more of just you have Kentucky fans that lived in Louisville a lot and they were hopping in, or maybe it was Louisville fans hating on Calipari in Kentucky and laughing about it alongside with us. Maybe that was the case, but I still thought that was just really fascinating. Really fascinating that was going on and people were all about that part of it too. Oh man, we've been flying through. It's a Friday. I wanted to start doing this, folks, on the show because my show is ever changing and evolving too. Because some people were sitting there like, "Hey, when you started doing this show, you said it was going to be 2 hours. Why is it not 2 hours? Are you just being lazy?" And my approach to it is like, what we can do in the creativeness and the flexibility that we have here at Natty State, we can do things however we want. And just looking at numbers and research and studies and everything, it's like we can kind of go about it the way I want to go about it. Now, I'm always going to go on for the show for at least an hour to an hour and a half. And then when it calls for it, we'll go longer. And, when we do live shows on location, we'll go for 2 hours fully because we want to make sure that those businesses and those places that are kind enough to have us out there, that they get their full-fledged promotion from us. So, but it's just so fun to be able to do kind of what we do and how we do it and the success that's coming along with it. Blowing up and the amount of sponsors that we're bringing in and sponsors and partners that are wanting to get together on this. We're building a relationship with the University of Arkansas as well as the Arkansas Edge. We're doing things that are really, I'm really proud of and I really love. I'm saying all that because Friday shows, especially since we do it in the afternoon, things slow down a bit. And like today, Fridays are usually our most chill days. It wasn't very chill for me because I'm having all these meetings and stuff, but it's kind of things slow down. People get ready for the weekend, kick back, relax, and have a good time. So I was thinking, since we've covered most of the bases and all of it, I would use this opportunity at the end of Friday shows. I'm either thinking about doing it at the end of Friday shows or just doing it on a Sunday, but I don't really want to come up to the office on the Lord's Day if I can avoid it. But I just want to give everybody some updates on some stuff that we got going on here at Natty State. And if you guys want your thoughts and you guys got any questions on it, I will gladly answer them for you as long as they make sense. But, here at Natty State, we have a great content team, Pod at the Palace and Bombastic Podcast, the Boss Hogs Podcast, the Intern Podcast that went back up today. Like, we've really been doing some big things here. And the way we've been moving and the direction we've been moving has caught the eye of a lot of people. So, like, for instance, the Tin Roof partnership is something I'm really excited about because it's like we're going to be there where we're gonna have drinks named after Natty State, and we're gonna have food items, appetizers named after Natty State. We're gonna have our signage at Natty State. Like, it's gonna be the official sports bar and live music joint of Natty State. So us doing that is just going to open up more opportunities for other people to get involved and to interact and to have here in studio and guest-wise and everything. But also, we have a great thing in front of us with the basketball side still forming the roster and all that, but knowing baseball is going to be in full swing and how we're going to be up in Omaha because Arkansas is for sure going to make it, right? But we're going to have the whole team up there in Omaha, and we're going to be broadcasting live and streaming live from up there. We're going to have SEC Media Days in July that we're going to be down there in Dallas being a part of that. But we're also going to have fundraisers. We're going to have events here at Natty State Sports Studios. And being in this great office space that we have, we want to show it off. And when we put those things together, we're all going to move forward and be able to build something and to build it into very various ways. So I'm just saying as more of an appreciation, because sometimes it's hard to say because just the timing wise, but I wanted to make it known to everybody how much I appreciate your support and what you've been giving to us here at Natty State. To say it's been easy would be lying to you. It's not been easy. It's not been easy doing this day in and day out, building this, not just me individually, but just as a collective group. I mean, it's a business. You gotta grow with it. And whenever I've always gotten down in my job, no matter if it's when I was on radio at 92.1 The Ticket or ESPN 99.5 or ESPN Arkansas, hit that line, 103.7 The Buzz, wherever. Anytime I ever got down, it always helped me to look back at the people who were here and the people that listen, the people that watch and everything. So it's really great to keep it going that way. But again, appreciate all of you. Thank you, all of you. Try to keep you up to date on all the communication that we have. And the reason why I'm always promoting all the stuff we got, because it's really great. And the best part about it, it's free. You're not going to get the high quality content that we provide in the way that we provide it consistently like we do with the group of talent that we have here for free. So just wanted to say thank you. Either way. We will get to, hey, did y'all see this? Because I think that there's some funny stories there that I want to bring up. Which I don't know if anybody else finds them funny. I find them funny. And as long as I find them funny, that's all that matters, right? Right. Well, I got to tell you about Alumni Hall first. Alumni Hall in Fayetteville is the place for all your Razorback apparel. If you haven't been to Alumni Hall, folks, you're missing out. I cannot tell you, every single person I talk to that goes to Alumni Hall, they are blown away by the amount of great apparel that they have for everybody. It's almost overwhelming. They keep up to date on the new stuff. They have things in stock all the time, and they are the place to go. But I also know that sometimes it's tough to get over there to that location. If you're not living in Fayetteville, it could be tough. Traffic can be really bad over there. Well, that's okay. Because if you go to nattystatesports.com/alumni hall, you go to that website, you can be able to look at all their catalog for all the great apparel that they have, and you can have it shipped to your door. So you don't have to worry about fighting the traffic or getting out and about and trying to get down to Fayetteville or up to Fayetteville, depending on where you're at. If you're a Razorback fan, all four corners of the state and beyond, Alumni Hall can bring it to you. So check out their entire catalog of all great things that they have, all the great apparel that they have at nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. It's nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. We'll take a break. We'll come back. This will be, hey, do y'all see this? As well as get to some of your final comments. So stay with us here on the John Nabors Show, live from Natty State Sports Studios.
We not done yet either. So don't be satisfied because we not done.
Hey John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. Okay, you missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you.
Welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,840. All of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Well, stick my dick in the mashed potato. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, so final segment here on the John Nabors Show is getting ready to hit to the weekend. So many fun things happening this weekend. It's gonna be actually chillier here in the Northwest Arkansas area. Kind of a bummer, but I'll take it. I like the idea of a quiet weekend in Arkansas. It won't be, because that's probably when all the commitments are going to start happening for Arkansas and Calipari, which again, Be sure to subscribe to the pod at the Palace for all your updates on it. As Curtis and Scotty are going to go live streaming every single time it pops off. So they're going to be hopefully busy, but in a good way. But it'll be nice to kind of just chill and hang out and watch some Razorback baseball. Going to have a game tonight and then doubleheader tomorrow. Done with that. Razorback softball is also in town here in Fayetteville, so I know people will probably be going out to that too. But really relaxed, really chill weekend. And then next week, reminder, folks, it's the Tour de Central Arkansas for us here at Natty State Sports. So we're going to be going to 3 different locations there in the Central Arkansas area. Monday night, excited about Rock and Roll Sushi in Conway. Cannot wait for that to happen. We've been partnering with them, and Chris Alley is the guy down there. He's an awesome dude, and it's a great place, awesome spot. And they have locations that are blown up all across Arkansas, but especially in Central Arkansas. So starting at 4 o'clock, come on out and see us. They're Rock and Roll Sushi in Conway on Monday. We'll be at Twin Peaks in Little Rock. Looking forward to that. Before the Razorback baseball game happens there at Dickey Stevens Ballpark, which will be at that too, so come see us for that. And then Town Pump Wednesday for Wing Wednesday. Can't wait. So come on out and see us, though. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. All righty. So I was bringing up NIL, and everybody likes talking NIL, but I wanted to bring up this story, too, because I think it's worth mentioning. So Ohio State and the athletic director, Gene Smith, said he went all in and went berserk on financing the football program because they haven't won a championship in 3 years. Oh, the horror. Ohio State's going to pay more than $21 million to its football coaches in 2024. Like a Big Ten championships over the last 3 years. Like, that's kind of the thing that, like, I laugh about because it shows how people are just in different stratospheres as fan bases and programs. I think about Arkansas and football and what we would do to just have one season where we played in the SEC title game. How memorable that would be. And then you have programs like Ohio State who basically backed up the money truck because they suck so bad they have not won a Big Ten title game in 3 seasons. I have a good friend of mine who is an Alabama fan. He's a good Alabama fan. I give him a hard time. But it is fun talking with him and talking with his friends about stuff. The Nick Saban deal is going to be interesting now that he's gone. See how they handle it. But just watching individual games and now it's like, oh, my goodness. They're up 21-3 on Tennessee midway through the second quarter, and they're like, we're getting gashed on defense. We suck. It's like, yo, relax. And then you think about the season. They only went 11-2, and it was crap. It sucked. They're mad. Wanted coaches fired. People just live in different stratospheres and fan bases, and that's common for everybody, but especially college basketball, college football, college baseball. You know, I laugh whenever I see SEC schools in baseball brag. I think it was Auburn, maybe. When Arkansas played them, they bragged about it was like their highest attended series, weekend series of all time, and it was 12,000 people for the whole weekend combined. I'm like, dude, 12,000 people at Baum is just another day. Or if I see an arena that has 5,000 people or 6,000 people, or even like Auburn's little cute gym over there, the Jungle as they call it, has like 9,000 people or whatever, and they're bragging about, the biggest crowd ever. I'm like, dude, 9,000 people would be a terrible crowd at Bud Walton. Terrible crowd. But again, that shows the differences of how people live in fan bases and everything. So this is just one of those other examples, another example of how that is and how that goes. But no, I hate Ohio State. I don't really care for Ryan Day. But I don't like Michigan either. But I'm happy that Michigan no longer has Harbaugh because I felt like Harbaugh was always going to be in the mix. Now that he's gone, we'll see how that ends up being without him being there. But there is nothing worse or nothing funnier than the over-bloviated lack of self-awareness that Ohio State and Michigan and the Big Ten have. Like, Michigan won it this past year. That's great. Like, they deserved it. They were the best team. I still think they would have lost to Georgia. Just saying. But if you're the Big Ten schools and you're just always thinking you're above reproach and everything, it's like you haven't won. Like, Ohio State was the only team that won a championship in the, past 30 years until Michigan won it last year. I guess Michigan won it in 97, and Ohio State won it in 03, which was crap. Miami should have won that. Terrible pass interference call. And then Urban Meyer won one at Ohio State. Was it one or two? I think he only just won one at Ohio State. But the point is, they hadn't had a whole lot of success in those. And then basketball, don't even start on that with the Big Ten. Michigan State was the last team to win a national championship. That was in 2000. It's been forever. And they have never won a college baseball title. So I just laugh when I'm like, the conference in general and how they view themselves, like, y'all ain't that good. You ain't that good. So work on that. If you want to go all in on it, I'm for it. I appreciate it. I respect it. But the fact that you've gone all 3 years without a Big Ten title, scary. So scary. A few of your comments before we wrap up here, folks. Bojangles the Fifth says, do you often bring special guests to your live shows? Followed you for a while, but new to the shows. Great question, Bojangles. I fix my pants. Yes, do bring special guests. So next week, we're going to have me, Curtis, Scotty, Andrew. We're going to be all live there. All of us are going to be hanging out. And we're also going to be having people out there from the Central Arkansas area. And there'll be some various guests. But also next Friday, we're going to be live from Hydrate NWA on Dixon Street, which is an awesome place. They have IVs to not only help you with those long nights from previous, but also just for overall health and making you feel good. We're going to have IVs put in us live on the show as we conduct ourselves that way. So that's going to be fun. But for that, it's owned by former Razorback Jackson Lowry. And we're going to have some former Razorback baseball players showing up and hanging out. In fact, I think Tyler Spoon is going to be joining us over there. So we're going to hang out with him. And so it'll be so we do that too. But yeah, we'll have guests and people making appearances as long as it makes sense and as long as they're able to do it, because sometimes scheduling is always tough. But yes, appreciate you following along and having some fun too. Count says, so thankful for our fan base's media, especially United States, can be trusted. The Kentucky media, Kentucky Sports Radio, was in shambles through the whole Cal situation, fabricating stories and clickbaiting their own fans. Yeah, that was not surprising though. I mean, that's why I put up in my article today. It was just I kind of took a jab at Matt Jones. It's like he's put out a tweet. He's like, how this would be. He's like, it's horrible. It would be a horrible hire if Mark Pope was hired. And he ends up getting hired, and he's just like, oh, this is great. It's like, come on now. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Ronnie says, new subscriber here just for basketball, though. How do I say it? WPS. That's fine. Listen, that's fine. Because that's the thing is, like, we want to provide something for everybody. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, everything. We like the biggest stuff that's going on here in the state of Arkansas, we're going to be about, we're going to talk about, we're going to have fun with. Far and away. Easy money. We're going to do that. So there'll be people that watch us during this stuff with basketball, but then drop off when baseball's going on. They're like, we don't care. But there's going to be people that don't care about the basketball side of things. They're going to watch during baseball. And then football, we're going to have everybody. Let's be honest, everybody loves football. Everybody watches football, right? Right. That'll happen. Pull-up says, I would love to have boosters like Arkansas has. Arkansas is about to go back to the Nolan Richardson days. Hey, let's hope so. Nolan Richardson wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad of an era when he was here at Arkansas. I'd like to see some of the high-caliber players and how they are here, and also how long they stay here. Will some of them be 2-year players, 3-year players? Because Devo Davis was a 4-year player, but I feel like that might be the last 4-year player Arkansas ever has. Just given the portal situation, given Cal and one-and-dones and high-talent guys going to the NBA the next year. I think Devo Davis may have been the very last 4-year player for the Razorback basketball team. And it's not a bad thing, so don't get it twisted. It's not a bad thing. It's just how it is. But either way, that does it for us. Appreciate everybody watching in, listening in to the John Nabors Show, as well as all of our great content here at Natty State Sports. Be sure to watch and subscribe to it on YouTube. Follow us on social media. We got so many great things, folks. Again, in the Central Arkansas area, if you're out and about and you're looking for a great place to eat on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, come see us. We have Rock and Roll Sushi in Conway on Monday, Twin Peaks on Tuesday in Little Rock, and then Town Pump on Wednesday in Little Rock. So head out, come see us, meet us. We'd love to see you. We have some shirts I'm sure we'll be having some fun with, and we're going to have a great time with it down in the Tour de Central Arkansas early next week. But also the Razorback Baseball game. We'll be there for that. So we'll see you there too. But either way, appreciate all of you listening in and watching in. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks. Same sports show, same sports channel next Monday, live from Rock and Roll Sushi in Conway. We'll see you then.